All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone who's watching us today. Depending on where you're watching us from, if you could also sound out on our chat box where you are watching us from, that would be great. So we would know where our audience is coming from. Now, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Farrah Arlan. I'm the General Manager of Horizon Recruitment Pacific Corporation, and we are the proud exclusive Philippine partner of Worldwide Health Staff Solutions Limited. And I have the pleasure of having with us today the Regional Director, Regional Manager for the GCC Region, Mr. Mark Bennett, and that's for Worldwide Health Staff Solutions. Hi, Mark.
Hey, good day, Farrah. How are you doing?
I'm good. And you?
Right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. So this is the first time we're doing a session of this sort as Worldwide Health Staff Solutions in the GCC. And we just wanted to bring you a bit of information about the opportunities we have here, the lifestyle that we live in the GCC, and what you can expect, or what we have and what opportunities we have for you, and what you can expect when moving. So if we could just click over to the next tab. We want to keep the session quite interactive. So if you've got any questions or concerns throughout the webinar, please do put them in the text box, and at the end of the session, we will address all concerns or all questions that have been asked there. Next tab, please.
Next slide, please, CJ. Thank you. So we have GCC Employers. Mark, would you mind telling us a little bit more about GCC Employers?
Sure, Farrah. So we have a large amount of some of the biggest names in in healthcare working with us. We've got customers such as Suleiman Al Habib and other big hospital groups who are all looking for nurses and have other vacancies registered with us. So yeah, we're dealing with a lot of the larger hospital networks in the region. As far as the industries and sectors with high demand, we've got obviously Worldwide Health Staff Solutions deals specifically with healthcare professionals, but when moving here, it's often you'd be moving here with a spouse who might be looking for opportunities. So depending on where your spouse works, it'd be quite easy for them to find work here too. If we can assist you with that in any way, we'll try and point you in the right direction, but we specialize entirely with the healthcare recruitment. Then when we look at benefits of working in the GCC or working with GCC employers, the work-specific benefits are really great. You've got obviously a basic salary, which is a really high-paying salary compared to what most of us would earn in our home countries. Mm-hmm. Over and above that, you've got a housing allowance, which is generally falls into part of your package. You'd have a food allowance and a transport allowance. And then it's mandated that you have health insurance too, which is a great benefit that most countries don't offer you as a guaranteed benefit. But in the GCC region, that's always a mandated benefit that you have full health insurance, comprehensive.
I see. And also, if we could also share with those who are watching, maybe not everyone is familiar with the GCC. GCC means the Gulf Cooperation Council, and this is composed of different countries in the Middle East, namely Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates.
That's correct.
Next slide, please.
All right, the GCC cultural and lifestyle. The unique cultural aspects of the region are so vast. There really is a diverse culture of, there's people here from all walks of life, all different corners of the world. So you really do get a very global aspect on life, and you start to see a bigger picture when moving here. So that's really is one of the almost it's a benefit without being advertised as a benefit. I think I'm just getting to understand other people's cultures, religions, everything else gives you a much more worldly view on everything. The lifestyle and the living conditions here, we have We have very hot summers. Apart from the very hot summers, I would say 9 out of the 12 months, we have beautiful weather, beach-going weather where you can enjoy the outdoors. Um, Obviously, there's lots of tourist attractions. There's a lot going on from a tourist point of view, or tourist, yeah, to try and attract tourism to the country. So you never battle to find something to do here, from amazing beaches to great outdoors, going into the desert. A lot of off-roading and that type of thing happens here. There's mountains in the region that you can go and climb, wadis, little mountain baths that you can enjoy too. So from a lifestyle point of view, it really is something that you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you don't take advantage of that.
Well, even just going through the malls, right? I mean, there's just so many shopping malls to go and visit in Dubai. So there's so much to do.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest shopping centers in the world. Then there's tourist attractions like the tallest buildings in the world. We've got Burj Khalifa right on our doorstep, Burj Al Arab. Yeah, then when you look further afield into sort of Saudi Arabia, obviously there's Mecca there, the Grand Mosque. You're never short of something to do from that point of view.
Right. How about the work environment in the GCC? Can you share something about that?
Absolutely. So it's hard work, but it's good and rewarding work. The work environment that sometimes, obviously, working as a nurse, you might be expected from time to time to work some overtime. Obviously, that's always reimbursed. As I've mentioned earlier on, when working, you bump into people from all walks of life too. So another chance for you to broaden your experience, broaden your own minds, and just become a lot more open to other people's religions and everything else. The work environment is always, I think it's expected that you're going to work hard here. It's also expected that you'll reap the rewards for doing so.
I see. And we also have the transition opportunity from the from the GCC to the USA. Can you share a little bit about that opportunity as well?
Sure. Yeah. So Worldwide Health Staff Solutions obviously started off recruiting to the USA, and they're very well known for their US recruitment. But we noticed that we're obviously recruiting a lot from the GCC. So what we thought is we could help people get to the GCC region, gain some first-world knowledge, work with some of the latest machinery and technology out there in the healthcare sector. And while they're working here, we could start start interviewing them, get them a job in the USA. And obviously, as we know, getting to the USA is a long process, even longer at the moment with retrogression. So while you're getting your experience in the GCC region, we're able to start processing your immigration to the USA. And then ultimately, when your contract comes to an end in the GCC, you can move straight from here to the USA with your family on a green card visa. So any of the candidates that we place here would be first in line. If you meet the criteria of one of our US employers, you'll be first in line and prioritized over anybody else. So we call it the skip the queue. You don't have to wait in line. You'll be interviewed straight away if you meet that criteria, and you'll obviously get to the US faster.
I see. Shall we go on to the next slide, please?
All right, so the job opportunities. Obviously, we've got the registered nurse opportunities. Farrah, would you like to take us through those?
Sure. We do have registered nurse and archive clerk job opportunities available for candidates. And for registered nurses, the qualifications are a minimum of 2 years experience, currently working in the specialties listed: ER, ICU, OR, NICU, endoscopy, labor and delivery, dialysis, and oncology. Candidates must also either be eligible for DHA license or has already obtained the license or has a DHA eligibility letter or willing to take the DHA exam in the Philippines. Lastly, preferably candidates should be coming or exiting from the Philippines. As for the archive clerks, candidates who are with medical education background, such as nurses, nurses who are on the board, nurse aides, caregivers, and MLTs are qualified or eligible to apply for this position, preferably with medical related work experience of at least 1 year, has advanced knowledge of medical terminologies, proficient in MS Office, and is computer literate. And preferably, candidates should be coming from or exiting from the Philippines and must have outstanding English communication skills.
Amazing, yeah. Could we have the next slide, please? All right, so here we have some of our candidates that have already landed in the GCC. Obviously, big smiles all around. It's important to note that when our candidates move from the Philippines, for example, to the GCC region, they don't just get here and then we wash our hands of them. We really do try and support our candidates in all the ways we possibly can, whether it's, well, obviously we'll help them with the basic things like getting from the airport to their accommodation, from their accommodation to work, and that type of thing for the first few days. But thereafter, we'll also assist them in trying to find permanent accommodation, and if they have any qualms or any issues going forward, that we reach out to them, we stay in touch. We have a dedicated personnel that will that you can get in touch with your problems, and we'll address them to make sure that you're happy candidates while you're here. So it's really important to know that we do support you once you get here too. I'm on the ground in the UAE always, and you can, whether you're in the UAE, Saudi, Kuwait, Qatar, wherever it might be, you're always able to contact me. And obviously we've got case managers and retention managers who will look after you too.
Right. And we're sharing with you some photos from our batch 1 to 4 archive clerks who have landed and are now working in the UAE, in Dubai, UAE.
Correct. Could we have the next slide, please? Right, now we want to open up to your questions. I haven't seen any questions come through. Have you, Farrah?
Yeah, actually, we have some questions here. Let me just get through. Okay. One of the questions was, what are the requirements to work in the Gulf region? Any age limit? We have discussed about the requirements earlier. I believe this question was posted before we got to that slide. And as far as age limit is concerned, employers have different employer requirements as far as and including age. So it would depend on the employer's preference if there would be what qualifications they would set for this.
Correct. Any other questions? So I see a question coming through saying, from interview to relocation, how long does it usually take if I'm interested in Abu Dhabi? So obviously we would have to have vacancy for you in Abu Dhabi, but once we have that, from interview to the time of arrival, if all your documents are ready and in order, it shouldn't take longer than 6 to 8 weeks, I would say. We've had some candidates go really fast, some of them slower, but if all your documents are in order, we should be able to do it within 6 to 8 weeks.
The contract is 2 years.
Yeah, so all GCC contracts are generally they last as long as your medical license does, and a medical license in the GCC region is valid for 2 years, and then it's renewed after that by your employer. So all your contracts are generally 2-year-long contracts. Yeah, next question. The question we've got here is, does mean a candidate from Ghana would not be considered for this offer? Not necessarily. We have different employers and they have different requirements from us. Some of our employers prefer candidates specifically from certain regions. Ghana is a place that we've recruited from before, and maybe in this specific job for Suleiman Al Habib, they might not be considering Ghanaian candidates, but for other employers, we could certainly try and find you something if you meet their relevant requirements. Can a South Korean candidate apply? Absolutely, yes. If you have the relevant experience, 2 years of experience and a registered nurse license, we would certainly be able to consider you as an applicant. Would you like to take it?
Yeah. What is the visa you're offering? For the GCC, we are offering work visas and a transition to EB3 visa. First of all, for GCC, there is no EB3 visa category. That is for the US. But as Mark has mentioned earlier, we are offering a sort of a transition program from the GCC to the US. So those who are placed with our GCC employers would be eligible and be considered for positions with our US employers if we do meet the qualifications or are eligible for interview with these employers. Next question, please.
Here's a good question that's come through. So if you've passed the NCLEX exam, are you exempt from taking the DHA exam? Very, very good question. And the answer is yes and no. So if you have experience, so if you've passed the NCLEX exam, and the NCLEX exam is obviously valid for a number of different countries, Australia, New Zealand, the US, Canada, and a few others. If you've passed the exam and actually used it in one of those countries, you would be exempt from writing the DHA exam. But if you've purely passed the NCLEX exam and not actually activated the license in any of those relevant countries, you would still need to write your DHA exam. The good news for you is that the DHA exam is a lot easier than the NCLEX exam. And if you're able to pass the NCLEX, you're certainly able to pass the DHA exam.
How do nurses from other countries get the DHA eligibility? There is a process that is involved that candidates must go through. They would have to apply for the eligibility with the DHA, and we would be happy to share that information if you could send us an email, and we could provide you with links to this websites. So we could provide you with information on how to go about obtaining your eligibility.
All right, any other questions?
I would also just like to share that I would also like to share that the requirements or the qualifications that were mentioned earlier were specific for our Dr. Suleiman Al Habib employer in Dubai, but we are working with many other new employers and any new information that we could have or that we would have about vacancies with these new employers. We'll make sure to share this information. So please do watch out. Follow our social media pages. You can visit our websites regularly, and we will be sharing new information as they come.
Amazing. Could we have the next slide, please? All right, so this is obviously our social media links, if you'd like to follow that. And I see we've mentioned Worldwide Health Staff Solutions, but also be sure to follow HRPC, because HRPC does a brilliant job of getting our candidates together, especially the candidates in the Philippines. So please be sure to follow them. You can just search for the company in the search bar. Could we get the last slide, please? Just wanted to introduce you to our Refer a Friend, a Nurse Friend program. So this is an opportunity for you. If you follow the link at the bottom of the screen, you can go and create a profile for yourself. And if you know anyone that's passed the NCLEX, you can refer them through a little dashboard that would be personalized to yourself. You'll have a list of everybody that's been referred from you. And for each candidate that we actually file a petition for, you'll receive $250. So it's a nice way to pay for your own NCLEX if you haven't done it yet, or a nice way to make some money on the side or save up for your journey to the USA. Next slide. All right, then these are just some of our contact details. That's my personal email address on the right-hand side. So if you've got any questions about the process to the GCC, please feel free to send me an email and I will either get back to you straight away or I'll put you in touch with someone that will be able to assist you. And then, if you go onto our website, the left, on the left, you will be able to upload your CV directly. There's a button at the top right corner of our website where you can upload your CV, and it'll go directly to our recruitment team and they'll get in touch with you as soon as we have any available opportunities for you. Farrah, anything from your side?
Just another invitation for everyone to send us an email, Worldwide Health Staff Solutions or Horizon Recruitment Pacific Corporation. And any of our team members and our recruiters would be very happy to assist you with your questions and help you get to the GCC for work and to the US for your immigration and work, of course.
Thank you very much. And from Farrah and myself, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a short and sweet session. I'm hoping we'll get a lot more questions and emails from you, and we look forward to getting you and helping you on your journey to the GCC and to the US thereafter. Thank you very much, Farrah.